This isn't exactly
I forgot to wear red. Damn it, you forgot to call me. Oh, hey, folks, welcome
Target?
back to the Trailer Park Show.
Oh, wait a minute.
Have you ever noticed how we always do that? We always say like the most
probably good.
oddest stuff right before we go on.
Yeah,
We
we
go on
always
there.
talk about this weird stuff before we go on, and then it cuts off.
Last
it's
week
wrong.
we had, or was it last week we had to cut off a couple of things because they didn't
Yeah,
get the full
at the
content.
very
of
beginning.
communication?
Anyway, I don't know if you met Edward Reyes, right?
Edward Reyes.
How are you, sir?
All
Red?
right, sir. How you
Red.
doing?
Nice to meet you.
And you
Reyes.
know,
Robert Kiddie?
you know
Yeah.
Robert there, of course.
And of
We're
course,
going to talk about it, your interview first for about 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to go on about our candidate here. Does that sound okay?
Awesome.
You got that to play, Ma? Because he was interviewed by Forbes magazine.
Yes. Right. We did an
so tell us a
interview.
little bit about what happened.
We did an interview with Forbes because what we did was we came out and we actually brought out a CoinVote ATM, which is a Bitcoin ATM machine where you can buy and sell Bitcoin. So we actually installed that into the shop, and earlier in the year we announced that we were actually accepting Bitcoins in the gun store. So people can actually walk into the shop there, buy a firearm, and pay using Bitcoin instead of using cash or credit card or other currencies.
What is the purpose behind this? Because like you said, you still have to fill out the paper. In the newspaper, they say, oh, this is for underground gun sales.
It's just a method of monetary transactions without having to pay extra fees.
Right, you're still going to have to walk into the gun store. You still have to fill out the 4473. We still have to call the FBI, do the background check. So we're still going to do all that stuff. Only thing we're saying is you can actually pay for that transaction another way.
So why did the newspapers want to call this some kind of illegal stuff?
Well, just like you can buy drugs using cash. You can buy, a lot of things illegal using cash. You can also do that using Bitcoin. But what we're doing is we're
How do you
showing
buy
that.
drugs using Bitcoin?
Well, what we're showing is
That
you
part
can
is
actually
something that's
buy
illicit that
things.
we don't talk about here.
Yeah, you can buy things legally,
Like
with them
groceries.
and using Bitcoin.
You can buy stuff to Amway. I think if they accept the Bitcoin,
Right.
you can do that portion also.
Are you going to play as
I think we're gonna be okay for that right now, but we can.
well, I know that was.
Whenever you're ready, it's ready to roll.
You have been. There was a Bitcoin thing down at Circuit of the Americas, and you were there for that.
Right. We had the Texas Bitcoin Conference, which was March the 5th, 6th, at the Circuit of the Americas, where we had a lot of people come from around the world actually to attend that conference and learn more, get more information, find out about Mt. Gox, which is a exchange that actually collapsed.
Crashed or
Yeah,
something?
they crashed. So, which is fine because Bitcoin, this is something new. Just like when your banking systems went to doing online banking,
Yeah.
you had some banks actually lose millions of dollars. So with Bitcoin, this is something that's new. There are going to be some things that happen. There are going to be some bumps in the road. There are going to be some companies that fall by the wayside. But still, it's still, it's going to be something that's, that we're actually going to be using.
Think about it- think
Cryptocurrency
about
is
it this
actually
way.
here to stay.
Yeah, think about it. Oh, I think we're ready for that.
Oh, all right, go ahead, play it.
There are two things that we like in Texas. We like our financial stability, we like our financial freedom, and we love our firearms. In Bitcoin, it gives you a secure way of making that transaction. Maybe people don't find out who actually made the transaction. But guess what? When you walk into the gun store, you're still going to have to fill out the 4473. We're still going to call the FBI, do the background check, and get the okay. Now, this is not about you being a one-armed security team trained to clear an entire building. Okay? This is
No, keep
Okay.
going.
Well, no, they're having there's some small technical difficulties that she's having over there. So she was telling us that they're going to try reloading that in just a bit. So we'll go back to.
Oh, is that what she's saying?
Yes.
I thought she's worried about it being a
No,
commercial.
no. There were some minor glitches that were going on. So I guess the premise on the whole thing is that there were some issues that were going on with Bitcoin.
right. There were some issues with one of the exchanges that actually collapsed, but and like I said, all that stuff is going to happen. They're going to have some bumps in the road.
Kind of like the
and all that
healthcare
kind of stuff.
website.
Exactly. There are going
We
to
should
be
give
some
it some
bumps in
time.
the
We
road.
should give it some time.
Right.
Oh, I think so. You ready, ma'am? Okay.
All right, try it
So we're
again.
gonna try this again, so you can see.
There are two things that we like in Texas. We like our financial stability, we like our financial freedom, and we love our firearms. In Bitcoin, it gives you a secure way of making that transaction. Maybe people don't find out who actually made the transaction. But guess what? When you walk into the gun store, you're still going to have to fill out the 4473. We're still going to call the FBI, do the background check, and get the okay. Now, this is not about you being a one-armed security team trained to clear an entire building, okay? This is about your personal protection and the protection of your family. This is about taking their own, personal protection in their own hands. And that's the same thing for Bitcoin. It's not that it's political for me, but this is about taking that financial responsibility upon yourself and controlling your finances yourself and not depending on the banking systems who are too big to fail. We started accepting Bitcoin in January of this year. We are the first gun store in Texas to accept Bitcoin. You can testify before a Texas State House Committee with a handgun on you. You can testify before a Texas State Senate Committee with a handgun on you. You can sit in the House Gallery and watch debates take place. You can sit in the Senate Gallery and watch debates take place in the state of Texas with a handgun on you. And that's why I love Texas. All right, so what we're going to do here, you're going to buy a gun, a No Liberal t-shirt. And we're going to have you either scan your QR code or you can type in the address, and then we're going to tell you the amount, and then you'll send it. And we're going to actually write up that receipt right now so we can find out what that amount is. It's $12.99, and then taxes is $14.06. And so the amount in Bitcoin is 0.0231.
So we will scan the address. And we'll type in the amount, 1406, and click send. This transaction is pending. As soon as it gets a confirmation, it'll show complete.
Just tells me I received the payment. So I received it on my end already. So he'll get a confirmation on his end. We've gotten a great bump in sales. I would say maybe it's 5% increase our sales actually with Bitcoin. We've now increased our business by 50%, just announcing the fact that we actually accept Bitcoin and we have a coin vote ATM. We actually started selling firearms on our website because of Bitcoin. I never wanted to sell guns online, but once we started accepting Bitcoin, I was inundated with emails and phone calls. Well, hey, I'm in California. Can I buy a gun in your gun store using Bitcoin? So we had no choice but to put them on the website. The reason I opened Central Texas Gun Works and I started doing what I do is because my grandmother at 70 years old decided that she was going to go to college to get a college degree. While my grandmother was sitting at a bus stop after leaving a college library, waiting for a bus to come, a guy came along, mugged her, and raped her. And I decided at that point that I would make sure that every female in my family had the tools they need to protect themselves. That's why I became a concealed handgun licensed instructor, and that's why I opened this gun store. Bitcoin gives the people, it returns that power back to the people to control their destiny, control the money themselves, be their own banks, and give them their financial independence.
We shouldn't have put that up.
Wow, that's a powerful stuff there.
I've
That's
been reading or trying to
Hey, Gabino.
hey,
How's that magic? He comes over.
understand that whole transaction and in a layman's term. Can you tell me bottom line what it is?
Sure. So Bitcoin is internet currency.
Okay.
So it's not something that you can touch. It actually it goes on to a program on your cell phone or in a paper wallet. So what you can do is say he wants to buy something from me. I'm going to sell it to him. So what we'll do is he has X amount of Bitcoin in his wallet, and he's going to send me the X amount of Bitcoins to my wallet to purchase that item, and then I'm going to give him the item. Okay. What they have in between, they also have merchant services companies where, like for me, what I do is I don't take the Bitcoin and collect the Bitcoin. What I do is I get the cash. So he's going to pay me in Bitcoin. It's going to go to a merchant services company. That company's going to take the Bitcoin. They're going to pay me in cash, and I do it as a cash sale. So I'm still going to charge them the sales tax, so that way we can make sure that Susan Combs gets hers.
So what's the advantage to the consumer? I guess is it a shortcut or is
It's safer.
it's like a debit card?
There are less fees.
Uh-huh.
So like your banks, the merchant services, your credit card companies charge a lot of fees. Well, with Bitcoin, there are practically no fees at all, and it's a lot cheaper for you.
So in the end, you're going to save money. So if you
Right.
don't have the opportunity to take cash out of your ATM or out of your credit card, without having to pay the excess fees.
Right, because you go to credit card companies.
Yeah,
and
they're going
you
to charge you 20. They're going to charge you 20% of the cost, and then there's a transaction fee to go through that whole thing.
And go to the ATM.
And then the monthly fees that they charge you is going to be even higher if you do it off a credit card. In addition, if you go to an ATM, if you're not going to your bank, they're going to charge you at minimum $4
And this
per
way,
transaction.
you are your own bank.
Right.
So you don't need a bank. You've eliminated the bank. Those people that are too big to fail.
No,
So-
hold
so
on here.
it's
First, you
kinda-
gotta have
so-
cash to get your Bitcoin.
Yeah, correct. You have to have money in order to do that part. But it's similar, like as we explained before. If you've ever used PayPal,
Like PayPal.
it's similar to that process. It's similar to using your credit card to go ahead and purchase an item. The difference is that there's a higher, the bank institutions, the credit cards, are
PayPal
charging.
charges.
Well, they charge you a higher fee. They're going to charge you a percentage
So you'll
of
never
the transaction.
see coin, Bitcoin.
Correct. Well, they in theory, they have them out there. However, in the way the process
Well-
is being done right now, it's not. Now,
Right.
now we wanted to preface a couple of things on the video. This is by no way, any way, shape, or form of trying to say, hey, you have to go to this place.
Yeah, it's
This
not
is-
exactly
this-
a commercial.
yeah, this is Michael Cargill talking about Central Texas Gun Works and the fact that
And he is a sponsor.
So I thought it was gonna be kinda like tokens, so it's not like tokens.
No.
no. But it is what we are doing is that we're highlighting one of the sponsors who has been nationally recognized for
It was in Forbes magazine.
for doing a service to those people that support the Second Amendment, and who has, by the way, a nice pink .22 rifle, which I think I'm going to be purchasing very soon.
What?
Not for me.
Not for you.
Not for me. Not for me. Not for me. But I saw
I
that
was
on
about
the
to
wall.
say,
and I'm
hello.
like, I was wondering if he was still
Gun
there.
advocate. And second, what is it? Fourth
Second-
Amendment?
Yeah, well, we gotta hurry up. We got about a minute or two, and then we
Now,
gotta
now,
go
Oh,
on
okay,
here.
but I wanna ask you
All right,
a
ask him
question.
real quick.
So, what's your position on those that don't have a license?
That do not have a license. Well, it's already legal for you in the state of Texas to have a handgun without a license. You can have a handgun at home,
Okay.
to and from your home, your vehicle, inside your vehicle, premises under
So
control,
I
place
don't-
of
I
business.
don't have to go get a license.
You do not have
But
to
you
get a
can't
license.
carry it into a store or
No,
something
no,
now.
I'm not gonna be carrying no.
And you can have it in your vehicle, it just must be concealed in the vehicle in Texas.
Right. Now, the other important thing that we want to point out in that video, and it's something that people are going to probably attack you for some reason. Okay, when you talked about going to go speak to the Texas State Senate or to the House, I'm assuming that you would have to have. I want to be able.
concealed
You
handgun
have to have a
license.
concealed handgun license to go ahead and go and do that. Myself, I don't have I own weapons, but I don't have a concealed. I don't have a CCL. I don't have that permit.
And that was
Take
something
it to the
that
Capitol.
they actually cut that out in the beginning, because that's the first thing I say. You know,
Simple.
with the concealed handgun license, you can, and I
Right.
go into
And-
all
and we
that. They
want
actually
to-
cut that part
And we
out.
wanted to make sure that that's said right now, because somebody's guaranteed someone's going to look at that and they're going to be like, "Oh my God, you can carry a gun and go into the."
With a concealed handgun
But
license.
you have to do that with a concealed handgun
Right.
license.
Did we say
so
that
you
on the
can-
video? I
It
forgot.
No,
did.
they
took it
actually
off.
cut that out. The first thing I say, the very first thing I say is there are two lines. You have your metal detector line, your non-CHL
Yeah.
holes go
I've
through. Then
been
you have
there.
your CHL line, your CHL holes go through. You show the trooper at the door your concealed handgun license. I go through that whole little spiel.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that that's clarified, because they're going to if they start using that against them as an argument,
Yeah.
then
Okay.
we want to be able to say it here that as a person who supports the Second Amendment, I saw that and I was able to capture that
All right.
stuff.
Well, we do got Edward Reyes here.
Woohoo!
So we appreciate it because
Reyes.
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 There, yes.
Reyes.
You lived a long time around us, so you don't.
I don't know how to talk about
You don't need to come out and sing.
Reyes. Reyes. Guadalupe.
Guadalupe.
Well, look at me. I kept saying Jamaica instead of Jamaica.
So we
Jamaica Festival.
so we have Edward Reyes, who is going to be running
Right.
for candidate for District 2.
District 2.
And for city Austin, or for the city council for Austin.
City council. Okay.
So welcome aboard to the Trailer Park Show.
Thank you, guys.
We also have Robert Kiddie, who we will probably be making an announcement on that part if you wanted us to, about how your relationship is with the Edward Reyes, or soon to
Just
be
a
announced.
supporter,
Edward.
yeah.
Okay,
Just a supporter.
he's a supporter of the Edward Reyes campaign, or soon to be announced. But he has expressed his intent to run.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, born and raised here in Austin, Texas. My entire family is from East Austin, so my mom and my father. And we were raised in Dove Springs. You know, my mother raised four of us over there. And, you know, we're native to the area, so we want to welcome everybody who's moving to Austin, you know, and we want to thank them for moving to Austin and becoming a part of our city. But at the same time, we want to take our place in our city, you know, that, you know, even as far as like Chicano Park, you know, something like that, that's ours, you know what I mean? And I say it because that's our heritage, you know, we got over 100 years here, and it's something that you know, that we take personal, you know, as a native. You know, there's certain land and things like that have sentimental value to us, but the people do more than anything. So, born and raised here, I have a family. Me and my wife, we have 4 kids. I've had a tree business for the last 10 years. So, you know, we have experienced the flood, which is in the last 3-4 months, and you know, it was one of the biggest experiences I think some of our communities have ever seen. We lost a lot of homes, over 500 homes, you know, and so there were a lot of people. There were people who even passed away, and so that was something that happened to us that literally pushed us past our limits, you know, and caused us to take it even further than we've ever taken it. And so with that, come January of this year, I started to be encouraged by a lot of our residents to start running, to think about running for District 2. And so I'm very grateful that community is one of the main qualities, you know, qualifications, I mean, for city council now. You know, so now that the redistricting has taken place, it's real important that the communities stand up. The communities begin to speak.
Thank you,
For
LULAC and
the
the
community.
Travis County Republican Party.
Right.
And 4.
At the 7th time.
Oh, that's right. My people had a whole bunch to do with
Oh,
this.
gosh.
The 7th time was the winning time. We drew that 7. Boom.
Sure did.
It came true.
Nice.
Go ahead, go
Oh,
ahead.
no, thank you.
We had to throw that in there
Yeah.
because
We had
there's
to pat-
a
we had
like
to
the
pat the back.
partnership that came about of all that. You know, like you say,
And El Concilio, Mexican American Neighborhood, better say that before they hang me.
I got all them pictures of Roger Bogart and Senator Barrientos. 2 very unlikely. You know, Roger Bogart's like the second in charge of the Travis County Republican Party, and a hardcore Democrat and a hardcore Republican side by side like that was pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
So tell us a little bit about
Anyway.
the district that you would be representing.
Well, what are the boundaries of the district?
Yeah.
Boundaries
Your
go
district,
from, okay,
District
so
2.
basically, all of Dove Springs. So the
Okay.
7744, there's like a little piece on Bluff Springs,
I wish
That's
I
not
brought
in
the
it?
map.
and then it goes over towards 183, crosses over to Dale Valley.
Mhm.
So it catches some of that Dale Valley area, Pierce Lane, all the way to Wolf Lane.
The other side of all the airport.
So all the schools, the Dale Valley schools are sitting in it, in District 2. And then it crosses over 35 West, and it covers like the Slaughter and Congress area. So between William Cannon and Slaughter, so that area runs down further, runs right aside Stasny a little bit, and I believe it crosses over Stasny just a little bit by South First.
Does it go into Onion Creek or doesn't? I mean, Onion Creek, yeah, Onion.
Yeah, Onion Creek
That
down-
subdivision,
South of.
your people,
I'm not-
the Republicans, yeah.
I don't
I
believe
can't
it
even
does.
remember what they did with that part. But I know we were discussing when at first they
Yeah.
had Montopolis with y'all.
Right.
And I remember going before them and say, wait a minute.
You want to keep all your people out on the east side,
So we need to stay over here.
so it'd be in a big burial.
Yeah. Because it was diluting our home.
Diluting with by rich white folks up there in Muncie
It
Springs,
was
right?
like 70% Anglo. And I said, wait a minute, this is the
So-
bedrock of the Latino
Okay, we're gonna probably have to,
community.
we're gonna probably have to say that
Panhandle,
for,
Bible, and all
Yeah.
that.
we're probably gonna have to say that for a separate discussion.
Yeah, okay.
In regards to the whole segregation part.
Right.
but let's,
But
let's,
eventually-
Now, hold on, he does have a point here in how the district was,
Right.
was formed up.
it is, but it's probably something that we probably have to separate because right now we want to concentrate on District 2. And why Edward Reyes
How
they wants
District
to.
2 became District 2 is some of what we're
That's
talking
what we're
about.
talking about, how it finally came to be. As
Because you
we're
want segregation.
discussing
There
the
was a
boundaries.
lot of
So
argument.
in other words, you wanted segregation from the white people.
No, I wanted to make sure that there was even balance in the distribution of the geographic districts.
What happens if they all voted Republican?
Well,
If
that's
they're
fine,
Hispanic.
that's beautiful.
If they're
As
Hispanic
long
and they
as
all
they-
voted
as long
Republican,
as they-
you're gonna separate those individuals
As long
from being
as I
able to
see
vote
an
with the white
increase in
people who are
voting,
Republican.
To me, it doesn't matter whether you're voting Republican,
That's true.
Libertarian, or Ron Paul. We have a lot of young
A lot of Ron Paul
Latin
people.
Chicanos that love Ron Paul
Ron Paul's
for whatever
gone.
reason. my nephews are Republicans because of that, and I'm kind of like,
Legalized
what?
pot, that's probably what.
Well, I don't know. Well, Willie Nelson.
All right, we all get
I think
kidded.
Willie
Yeah,
Nelson.
Everything else is
But
a big
anyway.
ass, anyway.
Anyway, Dove Springs does have a lot of unique challenges. I remember back in 1991 when they had that other flood. With Victor Aquino, Cristina Chavez, and
Hold that thought.
all those folks.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
Now, if a marijuana bill crosses your desk,
Oh.
go
Okay.
ahead, go ahead.
Anyway,
Don't answer
and-
that.
and-
Don't answer that.
Don't answer that.
Yeah, it's non-relevant to the city council portion.
Back to the guns. Where's the store at?
Hey, it might cross his desk.
But it's not
If
gonna
he
be.
gets elected,
If-
there's all kind
how-
of stuff's gonna come across his desk.
How is it going to be relevant to city council?
Not in
It's
the
not
city.
gonna be-
Because
it's
not in
it's
the
gonna
city.
be
a
Yeah.
resolution
right
by
here.
City of Austin about, we all wanna get high on
It's
Wednesday.
going to be right here.
You know?
It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be, yeah.
but see, you've been on that ever since where we
Wednesday. I
decided
got high
that
on
you would
Wednesday.
be
Ever
criminalized.
since my governor said decriminalize it, I gotta figure out.
Man.
But anyway,
We
going
need to
back,
have- we
going
need to have
back
state
to the
representatives
topic,
for that.
Go back
because
to your topic now.
I've seen Dove Springs in the economic boom and then in the economic downfall in the 80s when their properties, were values were way beyond the value of the home when they had that downturn.
They're
Because
underwater.
we need to remember that Dove Springs was built for the retirement of Bergstrom Air Force
Yes,
Base.
sir.
Remember, that's why you have a beautiful infrastructure in Dove Springs, okay?
They do?
Yes,
Yeah,
better
Boulevard.
than where I
Yeah.
came from. But anyway, and through all
Better
that.
where you come from, over there on the east side. Okay, go ahead.
And through
I
all
understand.
that, I've seen many people like you that live there and get involved.
Through all the
stay in
transitions.
environment, through all the transitions and whatnot. And I know that Dove Springs from the 90s to today will have a library, a swimming pool, a clinic,
Nice rag.
everything. So what other issues bring to Dove Springs? I know that at one time it was also, and I don't know if it's still like
What's the
that.
high crime rate
Well,
one time?
I was going to go there. Is that something that still exists there, and what are you going to do if elected to address that issue?
Well, so the crime exists there. It exists in Dove Springs. That's not the only thing that exists, but it does, and it's high. They've lacked programs over the years, even as I was a young, boy growing up there in Dove Springs. So they've lacked a lot of different areas, programs. Our rec was a little room, and so there was no place for the young people, and a lot of even the education and things like that. There was there was nothing to prevent these kids from getting in trouble. It was too late. It became an intervention instead. So what we would like to do is we would like to see, funds invested in the young people at a younger age. So elementary school, middle school, and we've even crossed the idea of even filling out paperwork to try to get a high school there
I
in
like
Dove
that.
Springs. But there's a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of faith-based groups also that we work and we partner with. And so now we're partnering. That's the goal. It's like partner with the city, partner with code enforcement, partner with APD, partner with fire department as a community. Before, I think our community hasn't done its part as a partner. And not for everybody, because there are some who have. I was raised there. I always call us the kids of the veterans, okay? Because my father was a Marine. That's why we moved there. Bergstrom Air Force. It was all set up for for that. And then they closed it down, and then Dove Springs was left with nothing and no plan. And there was a lot of kids, and it was even spoke even back then in the 70s that this neighborhood was going to be in trouble if there wasn't things for kids, and there weren't nothing to keep kids busy, and there weren't parks, and there weren't there was a lot of stuff that you may not realize you need it until you don't have it. It's like when you don't have it, you don't realize how much it really actually helps the community. So as far as myself representing our community, there's things that I'll see, quickly with no effort whatsoever that I know our communities will need, whether it's programs, preventions, also some type of restoration also, something that restores people back to, back to this table. Back to the table of responsibility, back to the table of honor, and so.
I like that.
So that's what I see for our community, because there's a lot of good things. Man, there's so many more good things there. You think of Dove Springs is known for its bad. Well, everybody knows the media catches the bad, but there's 20 times more good things in Dove Springs. You know, I've seen veterans go to work. I've seen veterans cut their yards. I've seen veterans give, help. You know, I've seen just single moms work. You know, my mother was a single mom, worked 40 years with the government. There's a lot of hardworking people in our community. You know, and my idea is to, and this is what we've been working at with Dove Springs Proud, with the Dove Springs Neighborhood Association, with the Dove Springs Advisory Board, is to start amplifying on the good things that are in our community. You know, there's a lot of business owners in our community.
Well, you had Mona Gonzalez out there for ages. What is it, Youth?
River City Youth Foundation.
River City
Yes,
Youth.
sir.
I remember when they used to be youth advocacy way back in the 90s when she began out there at South Austin Rec Center. And then at that time, we began offering programs because, like you mentioned, there was a big void out there. There was absolutely nothing.
That's back when all the big gangs and all that the press would focus in on all the
how
time.
long you lived out there?
I only been out there about 6 years, 7 years.
Oh, okay.
But I know there was, it's not near as bad as it used to be.
So you talk about the amplification, about amplifying all the good stuff that's been going on in Dove Springs.
Right.
Okay. However, Dove Springs isn't just District 2. You have a whole bunch of other areas.
Right.
What do you see, because you've done a lot of stuff in Dove Springs. What have you done, or what do you see within Dove Springs that would be good in a different area, such as in the Del Valle area? Or conversely, have you seen anything in the other areas that would be beneficial to another section of District 2?
You know, I guess let's start with Del Valle. Okay, so Del Valle lacks everything that Dove Springs lacked 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You know, they're in the same position. You know, they're barely developing. A lot of our people are being pushed to Del Valle. You know, so you know, you do have even mobile homes and things like that. So as far as our community, we
Trailer park communities.
Oh,
as far as our community,
That's
we
what
know
my
what
house
it's
is
like
about.
to be without, you know. And then we've passed that point to where now we're starting to have things in our community. And so when we look at other communities, we see where they're at, where they were at on our scale, you know. So when some of them are without right now, and so we know we have to upgrade in these areas and these areas, you know, same programs, same thing.
Right.
And then when you look to the other side of 35, so there's the middle class, you know, so they don't fall here, and they don't fit here, and they don't fit here.
Right.
You know, and so they're right in the middle, and they get stuck with even less opportunity because they don't qualify for certain things. They don't qualify for certain funds or organizations, certain resources, you know, that would help their quality of life. You know, and so
Right.
so you still have this scale across that we're all the same. I mean, I have family that's on both sides, you know, and friends that are on both sides. I've run a tree business the last 10 years, so everything we've done throughout the city and even the surrounding cities as far as tree business and as far as our costing, you know, when we come to South Austin, it's half that price,
Right.
you know,
So
or free.
Now I'm going
Just
to
because-
I want to expand a little bit and challenge you a little bit on some comments that you just made. When you mentioned that we're being pushed over there to like the Del Valle area, are you referring to more minorities being pushed out there, or are you referring to people? Or I mean, what exactly do you mean by
Cost of pushing us
what
over
are we
there.
talking?
Talking
Exactly.
about the gentrification?
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
takes
all-
so,
place.
okay, so
I
we're
know
talking, so
exactly
we're dealing
what
about
you're talking about.
gentrification. Okay, now I want to go ahead and backtrack a little bit
genocide?
with the conversation that we had with the Travis County
Please,
Commissioners,
yes.
where we talked about the fact that we have a lot of people that are moving out from the city into the county areas, and her support was for a living wage, to go ahead and increase the wages within the city and within the county so that people can survive. And one of the things that was identified by Ms. Gomez, and this is something that's on record, was that the city, the people that are arguing about having a living wage are people that live within the city, not within the county. They're the people that are actually able to survive on the wages that they're making right now. So when talking about that, she said that you know they want to work with the county and how to adjust that part, because as you and I know, and Robert knows, and people that live here that in Austin know, that taxes are high. Taxes are way high in Austin. I mean, and we can go through the whole plethora and the whole thing, but we're not gonna do that right now. But we can identify that the living wage is gonna be an argument. And what would you wanna do? To go ahead and try to either, to support it or to try to make adjustments so that people don't move out of the city?
You mean, is that I think what he's asking
What I'm
is,
at- what I'm
if
trying
a
to figure out-
bill
what I'm
for
trying to figure out-
minimum wage crosses your desk,
No,
will you support it or not?
here's what I'm arguing about. The discussion's made that we're moving out of the city. We're moving into
Because it
into
costs
different
too
areas
much
because
here.
because of the cost of living.
Even in
Okay, in
Springs.
the city of Austin, including District 2. We've identified already through one of the Travis County Commissioners that it's because of what's going
Margaret
on.
Gomez was on a couple
Margaret
weeks
Gomez was on here, and she said, because of, the people that are complaining are the people that live in the city of Austin. They're moving out because it's cheaper. You want to represent the city of Austin within District 2. What would you do? What would you want to do? To go ahead and, are you going to, would you want to say, I want to support a living wage? Or do I want to look at being fiscally responsible and say, where can we cut on our side to go ahead and make it more livable
I
for
love
everybody
his
else?
questions with all those biases in there.
You're right, it is. You're right. But the thing is,
It's a long way to do
it
that.
is
Make
the
it
truth,
shorter.
though. It is a true statement. How
Yeah.
is it something that has to be considered on your side as a
I
representative?
mean, I think Austin, with Austin growing,
Mhm.
everything is gonna have to be adjusted.
Mhm.
So, when the time comes to, raise the minimum wage, it'll be time. And the city will cross that bridge together. So,
Okay.
as far as people moving out, I have a friend that moved from Dove Springs to Kyle, because lower interest rates.
Yeah.
He put zero down to get in on his house.
I lived that also in Maynard. I lived in Austin and I moved out to Maynard in order to do that.
And another area that's being
Which-
primed for us is Colony, Austin Colony? or-
Yes.
Austin County.
Austin County.
Austin Colony.
Del Valley. So I think on one end, Austin, as far as the wage, yes, you have that, but then you have another place, city or little areas that are trying to grow as well. So they're offering just something better than Austin is. I
Which
think
is
that.
cheaper property taxes.
That's
and-
right. It's better to have none. Better to have that than none.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From their view.
Right.
Because they're outside. They're trying to build their city. They're trying to, they want to have plans to have a growing city also.
Okay. So I guess it would go back into that whole premise. Where that let me go ahead and ask it in this fashion.
I like it says, be responsible and cut taxes.
Well, no, would it be something that you would have to look at? Where if you want to keep the people in, kind of like what we do, kind of like what the state and city does with businesses, would it be something that that would be considered? I don't want to put your feet to the fire on that part, but would it be something that you would look into
Why
to
not?
try to help out?
Anyone that wants to run for office must
You're
have
right.
their feet
They
put to the
they
fire.
should
Well,
put
he'll
their
be
feet to the
back
fire.
at a later date is what he's saying.
However, he's going to be coming back at a later date because we understand this is still the beginning portion of what's
Right.
going on right
It's
now.
premature.
And so I want to be able to make
Still.
sure that I don't put anything on his put anything on him that he's going to end up changing his mind later on. I mean, I want to be able. It's going to be something he's going to have to consider. And then once he's either studies the facts or looks at what's going on and talks to the constituents, then we go from there. However, would it be something that you'd have to consider? Going back to the question, would it be something you would have to consider as a representative to say where we can try to keep the people in the city?
Yeah, I would believe so.
Mhm.
Okay, just a shallow answer. I would believe so.
Is your business in District 2?
No,
He's on Ben White.
he's on
Is
District
it-
5.
Is it?
Ben
Oh,
White and
okay.
I think you're at District
Ben
White in
White,
Congress, Ben White.
Ah, it's
he's
District
first in Congress.
Yeah, I think it's
And your
split. I think
business
it's
is in our
split.
district, District 3.
Is it in
So
three?
you better be
Yeah.
nice to him.
No, you better be nice to us, your philosophy. District 3.
So I
We are
guess so,
nice to everybody.
There you go.
That's why they said in Forbes we're the friendliest gun store in the world.
There you go. Texas, baby.
There's a saying in Spanish, chiflao.
Translation.
Translation.
To his own whistle.
What is it? To my own whistle.
Well,
But people are looking because they are already thinking about the elections.
It's
the
coming
city council
fast.
Elections. Why should they elect you in District 2? Could you tell them why? Because I know there's others that are gonna be running by the time the August 18th comes around. But why do you feel that
So I still have
you
time to
should
move to your house,
represent
right?
them?
Sure. What'd you say?
No, I was gonna say, I still have time to move to your house then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Couch.
Yeah, the couch.
If he says no, you can come to mine.
District 2, you should go to.
Yeah, District 2, yeah.
So I believe it's simple. I
Okay.
believe, number one, community. You know, the relationship with the community, the ongoing relationship with the community. I didn't just create this to get a vote. This is something that's been in place. And so I want to take the community to the table. I want to keep bringing the community to the table. A lot of times we don't get brought to this table. We don't get brought to the decision-making table for our own city. And so, you know, I would think the number one reason would be because I am community, because I continue to be community. You know, we'll hear the people, we'll speak for the people. There is no other agenda. You know, this is what's at hand, and this is what we want to do. We want to work to making our District 2 better and bringing the resources, bringing this, you know, the same resources that any other business across Austin has. You know, the economic development. You know, our businesses today are 7 or 8 times smaller than what they should be. You know, and so we want to bring these resources. We want to fight for our district, you know, and our area, and do our part within the city, and just be, you know, I'm not just some fly by night, you know, guy who's just here for the moment because I'm trying to use it as a stepping stool. You know, this is my community. I don't plan on going nowhere. I plan on buying a plot here and dying here. And so this is why I
I mean, you're
desire
not
to
gonna run
live.
for mayor later on, or, well,
Right
we won't
now,
write that off, huh?
right now, it's
No,
this is
right now
this
this
is
is
what
it.
is on the table, and we want to be a good steward with what's on the table right now, and just focus on that, just like we did the floods, and just like we did
Simple.
other things, you know.
The fires.
The fire, exactly. So whatever's at hand, we want to do our best with it, and we want to also create more. Like, so, even as we run, you know, I want to be the example to where it's duplicable. What I'm doing is duplicable to our community, you know, so that others can see it. You know, it wasn't easy. You know, it was a lot of heartache. There was a lot to learn. There was a lot of just trial and error, I'm sure. You know, but our community's got to see it, that it's doable. You know, our people in our homes, neighbors, they got to see that this is doable, that somebody can represent their community and represent District 2, you know, and not just be dictated by a political agenda.
Well, I like that part because I do know about Edward. Dove Springs proud. When you started that, there was nothing for you to personally gain from that. It was only, I mean, there was no way for you to get anything out of it. It was only for the community, for his neighbors. And that's one of the things I really like about you is you weren't going to get rich.
Well, I
You
don't
weren't
think
gonna-
I don't think that's the purpose of having that.
No, that's what I mean. He didn't do that to use it for a stepping stone.
Or you the association is we're hoping to work ourselves out of a job. You know, that's the goal.
Well, I've kept my mouth shut about the Pleasant Valley and William Cannon, because that was my biggest problem is if you know just north of there, when you cross the creek, there's that lift station. I ain't smelled it in a long time, but I don't know why they would let that sucker stink for so long. I'm sure you probably know the one I'm talking about.
I haven't smelled it
You
in
know,
a while.
you cross William Cannon and
Yeah.
you go down
Yeah,
that
it
bridge right there on the.
Where that plant used to be.
I'm thinking now, if this was my folks out, you know, west of 35, they'd have had that fixed quick. And how many times that place broke down and then for days, weeks sometimes, you couldn't drive through there without holding your nose.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, my Lord, they don't give a damn about us over here. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, but I know I've known you since that, the Dove Springs proud. And that was a good thing. It helped the community.
So, Michael, you had a couple of questions.
You have a couple questions. What would you do about, what do you think we should do about traffic in Austin?
Something. Something. I definitely think that is one of our, that definitely sits on our platform for District 2, because our traffic it's terrible, you know, to say the least. And so I know that there's some things on the table, you know, I am a CDC commissioner for the 78744 area, so I have seen some of the plans come through. Unfortunately, they don't make it to Ben White. So the plans that have come through stop at Riverside, and that's not okay. So even as a CDC commissioner, we were rejecting plans because they didn't make it across Ben White into South Austin.
So is that a bad thing, though?
It really is. It's like a 30-year plan.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like they
and so
didn't plan
basically,
to.
basically there will be no low income in the areas that the plan is right now. You know, in Riverside, you can already see Riverside. It's already changed.
Yeah.
You know, in
Yeah.
30 years there will be no low income there.
Right.
Light rail out Riverside?
Down Riverside, the proposed route.
What are they gonna do with all your cousins out there?
I don't know, they're gonna be able to ride it.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that's almost all
when it comes to-
Latino land.
So I guess the big issue would be like the transportation going north to south. I guess is what you were talking about earlier.
North and south.
Right. That,
that-
also, I know they're putting those toll roads out on. They're
Okay.
putting that toll road on 71 going to Del Valley.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, I think those people are gonna have a problem with that because we're putting the toll roads
Toll roads every damn where.
in the poorest section of town.
Even, I mean, I know that even the MOPAC, you know, is the same thing. But you're right. I mean, the poor side of town is gonna feel it. I mean,
I think that side of Maine is also going to feel it also, but we're okay.
yeah,
But anyway, that's another story together.
that's right.
You wait till we had a candidate from out there come on. It will last.
Oh, we'll have fun with that one. So
That is a
Well,
point.
I think that a lot of the reasons that people are saying why they're running under this geographic structure is the one that we were advocating as to why we needed to have this 10-1 district, because it will no longer be that, you know, one king. That's the way they used to have it. You know, if you had a problem, you'd go with a Mexican. If you had a problem, you were African.
They had the one seat for the black man and one seat for the.
Form of governments that we've had in many, many years, and I'm glad that it's gonna change. It's very exciting. I've talked to Mark God and all those, and they're panicked. They don't know what's gonna happen. You
So,
know,
so
They're probably gonna
going
find
off
a
of
little
that, then,
job,
going
won't
off of
they?
that, then would be a good question that was asked last week. So we have districts, obviously, that are going to be designated for groups, I guess, if you will. I don't want to say races or ethnic groups. It's going to be for different groups, financial and all that fun stuff. How are you going to be able to work with somebody from a district up north?
Westwood, maybe.
Westwood. Let's use Westwood or somewhere that is more affluent, I guess, if you will.
Well, I mean,
If something comes on the table, and we'll just kind of use it this way, if something comes across the table for city council to vote on, that will be beneficial to one section of town, and not to another, is that something?
you know, we're gonna have to find a happy medium, I'm sure. You know,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I can definitely say that we're very passionate about our district.
Mhm.
We're very District 2, District 3, District 4. I mean, you know, these are some I know we'll partner with no matter what. I'm sure we'll have our differences, you know, but we'll still have to find that happy medium, you know, because it is, you know, the city, you know, as a whole.
Right.
But I definitely know that me myself, I'm very, very passionate about South Austin, you know, and if I could say it like this, if it's anybody's turn, it's our turn, you know, because there's a lot of things that are taking place in the city, you know, and if anything, they have something that's on the agenda. They've had something on the agenda every year. So if anybody's turn, it's going to be our turn, you know, so that's how I feel.
What do you think the relationship is between the Dove Springs area and the Austin Police Department?
Before he answers that, I'm gonna have to leave because talking about neighborhoods, I have to go to the Board of Adjustments.
Okay.
What are they on, F3, F4? I have an item that,
Item you're interested in?
yes, and, but anyway, nice to meet you, I've heard a lot about you. I know
Okay.
that some of our LULAC people were down at Dove Springs when, and I have nephews that live by the Palm School area all around there.
Lisa, David,
Yeah, the whole.
Lisa's up north. Lisa
Right.
Garza.
Mm-hmm. So I want to wish you good luck in your effort in your campaign, and want to make sure that everyone is educated about these elections that are coming. And the filing date's August the 18th. So I'm pretty sure that every district's gonna have a handful of individuals.
Chico and
turn
the
their
man coming
hand
up. Just watch for Chico and the man.
in. I know.
Before you leave, we have a show next week. We do not have a show on the 24th, the 31st. So next week, and then we have a couple weeks off.
I want to take some time off and
So
enjoy
anyway,
time with the family and all that
Do
fun
a good
stuff.
job out there. I know you will. I had to throw in my bit about the wastewater treatment plant there. Try not to get too heavy on the wastewater stuff, but I used to dread driving by there. I'm sure you know it. And it was all because I knew that if it was over there in Westwood, they wouldn't have let that stink like that for a day.
No.
Well, a lot of stuff that happens in our area, they wouldn't let
don't
happen.
seem to-
No. And that's why we fight for bus stops, we fight for bus stop covers.
I'd like that.
Stop signs, speed bumps. We work, there's a lot of us working at it. Ricardo Zavala, the president of Dust Springs, is proud. And, he's doing a great job too. That's our civic group, and so they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're our fighting group, so.
You good.
Very cool.
I know I need to get down, we all need to go down to Capital Metro because, they took the bus route off of Terry Lane. I don't know what they're doing, why they come up with this, and you're right, they don't even have a bench at my bus stop there on
That's why you
Stasky
got a
and
stroller.
Terry. Huh?
That's why you have a stroller.
Even
Yeah,
that,
I
even
gotta
the
watch
strollers. You should see some of the sidewalks in South Austin.
Yeah,
you can't.
sometimes it's hard to
you
get my
can't-
little stroller up there.
Well, they're doing a good job in paying millions of dollars to build those bike lanes there.
Yeah, millions of
Yeah.
bike
So
lanes, they
let's-
keep putting
I guess,
those-
I guess
the
that would be
bids
that would be a
are-
nice that would be a nice piece of conversation to talk about
It
because of the
will.
fact that we have. Obviously, we the city is moving to this one city by floating city, I guess if you will, a la Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. What's your view on that part? Because it looks like we're going to be progressing to make this whole kumbaya thing. We got to go ahead and have these bike paths and God knows what else, and make all this money and spend all this money to have people share city bikes. Is that something that you like? As a
You know what? I don't necessarily have something against it.
Mhm.
It's not. If you look at it as a list of priorities, what needs to happen first, it's not first on priority. It's probably not in the first 10.
Okay.
There's streets, and there's bus stops, and there's sidewalks, and there's lights, and there's a lot of things that need to take place. There's, new streets. Reroute certain things. I know Stasny and 35. I know they're gonna start working on that area. So I know that there's a lot of things that are priority.
Mhm.
So I don't mind getting to this floating city, but we got to do it. We got to do it we got to be able to balance it, in all the communities. To make sure, that we have what we need, in our communities.
Like a lift station that won't break, so we'll all be floating.
Right?
I hate, we've
So-
headed east with the bike lanes on, I just gotta cut you off and throw that in there.
Yeah.
You know how they made the skinny lanes,
Yeah.
and
Like
so if
skinny
it's pouring
jeans.
down rain, if you get to be old and can't see real well, if you're in a truck or a bus, and
And then
Right.
you can't get within 3 feet of the bikes.
you can't, and they got
Yeah.
that bike lane over there, the little bitty skinny lanes, so when you're old and it's raining or dark and,
Yeah.
what kind of idiot did this?
So even
Hold
other
on.
things, even other things on the,
Yeah,
even
that's
other
right.
things that are on the priority list are, a disaster plan.
Well, put
You
that
know?
on a priority list to get rid of them bike lanes off the county.
That way, you might be able to use your stroller, your walker. It's got wheels.
No, because they made them skinny lanes, now I'm scared
But
they can run over, even on the
But
bike lane.
it's big enough where you can go ahead and use,
Yeah, I
use the
know,
walker
but
on
that's
there.
what I'm saying,
Can't
you're right there
swerve
by,
none.
And
you
can
know.
take-
swerve
yes,
any.
sir. Exactly.
Can't swerve any,
It'll be a lot
swerve
better- it'll be a lot-
Now, there's Pokey,
It'll be,
flattened out
it'll be a
like
lot
a,
straighter. It'll be a lot straighter than the sidewalks, probably.
They did
So
that
there
to
you go.
relieve traffic off of I-35.
bike lanes on William County, yeah, that really helps, that, like, what kind of.
Really?
That's what they say.
And they paid somebody to come up with that,
That's what they say.
so I've made my events.
That makes a lot of
William County
sense.
And that sewage lift station, which
They relieve-
I think they did that because, like you say, we're in we're a working class type neighborhood, lower income type. Let the lift station stink for a while, that's not a priority.
Yeah, nobody's complaining, right? The squeaky wheel, right? It's not happening. No, nobody's making a stink of it. They're putting up with it.
Oh,
And
I
so
hate putting up with that.
yeah. So until we start this is the beginning of it.
Right.
No, it's 10-1.
So now, when will you be able to make it the official announcement?
I believe in March 5th.
I think it's
March 5th?
I
past
believe so.
March 5th.
It's already
Past
past March
March
5th.
5th.
Today's the
I mean May. I'm sorry.
May 5th or,
We're working all day.
yeah, I kind
May
of,
5th. I'm sorry.
Oh, so Cinco de Mayo, how's appropriate for
There
that?
you go.
Oh, my goodness.
yeah, I'm probably up for that. I'm thinking he put hanging
So,
around
you know,
my
we,
governor there.
okay,
he
so
had
now,
some laughs up.
so now here's a suggestion that we can do that.
So the one thing, the relationship with
Oh, yeah, we got 8 minutes.
the relationship with the police department with Dove Springs. How do you feel that is?
I think I believe right now we have a lot of neighborhood watches that are kicking off, and so we've been working with our district reps, and again, remember the partnerships. You know, so you know us being a partner with APD. How do we partner? Well, you report crime, you report suspicious behavior. You know, you go to these forums that the APD
Commanders forums, you know.
forums, and you know you. So we're starting to do that as a community. You know, so before that was a different story. Like in the '90s, forget it. You know, no way. You know, it wasn't happening. You know, so we've been working towards that direction in our community. I know, Rob Kiddie, has also, and there's just a lot of. So I think our relationship, it's gonna get better. You know, it's got no choice. I mean, we're in the room. You know, you have no. We're signing in. We're showing up, and so it's gonna get better.
Cool. And we have Robert Kiddie, and of course we kind of ignored Robert Kiddie because we were.
Oh, that's fine with me.
And I apologize about that. But, 'cause
No,
we
it's
wanna
fine with me.
concentrate
It's
a little
all-
bit on,
yeah.
on Mr. Reyes here. So Robert, what's going to be your involvement with?
I'm going to support Edward. And the reason that I got to support Edward is the beginning of the Neighborhood Watch. He got there and he was telling people, let's get involved. Let's start getting everybody together. Not just one group of people, just everybody. No matter you're Republican, Democrat, white, black, Hispanic, he got everybody together. During the floods, as soon as the water went down enough where it was safe for him to go in, he went in there. He stayed there for 3 or 4 weeks. Forgot about his family life. Not really forgot about it, but stayed there from morning to night. Didn't ask for anything. Fires happened. He was the first one there. He was there when the fire just got put out. So he's all about community. Community first. We've only had one other representative from Dove Springs on the city council, and that's Bob Larson. So we're hoping that this will be the second.
Cool.
Because it's like Edward said, it's our time.
It's our time.
Look at 5 more minutes. We go off and that's just 58. We don't go till 7 o'clock for some reason.
Right.
And the clock ain't turned back. It still says 6:53. That is good stuff. I know it still seems like a long time until the elections, but it's not.
Nope.
It's gonna be here quick and there's plenty of work to do. And, I know that when you get to be city council, you'll be back down here at the trailer park show to tell us all about it.
Yes, sir.
And we'll have, I would like to have you on again. There'll be other city council people coming on.
If people want to reach out to you now
Yeah.
to
that's-
talk about what's happening, obviously we have some information on there, but if possible, please tell us a little bit or where they can reach out to you. That way they can hear from you as well.
You can definitely go to like the information that was there for our community if you'd like to help with the floods that we have experienced.
There it is.
So there's a website there that's been created by us, and there's an email there, and so you can reach out to us. My number's not on there. I don't know if you guys give numbers out or not, but
Yeah, we can if you want.
yeah, you
So
guys.
if people want,
are
if people want to
free.
reach out on the website, if we can again, Ms. Pokey, thank you. So that we can say it as well. It's going to be dsfloodresponse.org,
Right.
and also they can reach you at area 78744@gmail.com.
Right, right.
So-
So basically that just tells you that if you want to catch up with me on the field right now. Because there's still a lot to do out there in the community. So that's where we're spending our time and our effort. Even though we're getting ready to start campaigning pretty hard, grassroots and but still right now you're gonna catch us on the field there working.
Do you do any of your campaign stuff on your Facebook page or?
We do some, we do announce, you know, whenever we're gonna have something, you know. I've heard of some that have been created, you know, I think today, you know, where the community says, hey, we're gonna get behind you, and so it's been a page created, for that. And so, you know, that's cool, you know, that's really good. And it just shows you, you know, there's proof in the pudding, you know.
Yes, sir.
The community's there.
Oh yeah, another person that's actually said that. You're probably like the third person that I know that has said the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
So cool.
Proof is in the
I'm the
pudding.
second person.
Well, I regretted missing your announcement party there, 'cause that's good food over there.
Right.
Oh,
It's always
man,
about
we
food and
missed-
beer, isn't it?
Oh, we missed the
Yeah,
party.
here's
We
food.
missed the party.
We missed the
I'm afraid
pachanga.
Free
so.
food.
We missed the pachanga.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But
Yeah.
usually when we do something, we'll send it to everybody, so you guys will get it.
Well,
Definitely put me on the
sometimes
free
I-
food list.
All right. We'll put you on the list.
Yeah,
You
make
can
sure
bring
it's
some
there at
guns.
bus stop.
Bring some free guns, you know.
Right, right.
That sounds like a scandal. Guns for food.
He did donate a lot of turkeys over there at the flood.
Oh,
So he
Yeah.
was definitely involved.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
A
Appreciate
whole
it.
bunch of them.
1 or 2 or 50 or something.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. You know, it took everybody's help. It took everybody's effort. You know, so everybody gave. You know, a lot
Well,
of
you,
people gave.
you already have plenty of experience in dealing with city council already. So it shouldn't be too hard to make some arrangements for 10 chairs and put you in one of them.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you again for being here with us. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm hoping that people got a little bit more information about you, and they're going to be looking for you, not only as you do your campaigning, and also on Facebook, so that they can try to know a little bit more about you. And of course, we'll have this so people
We'll have it up on the website pretty soon, trailerparkshow.com.
can
And it'll
identify
link
more stuff.
to, I guess it'll be up on YouTube,
Okay.
but it'll link from trailerparkshow.com. We have all of them up. Last week, we had District 1.
Mhm.
Was that it?
Yes, yes.
Sam Yosemite, and he is pretty obviously gonna run. I don't know if he'll have, how many opponents he'll have. We will be having these candidates back on more than just one at a time. I'm just doing it this way now. I thought that we'd do it this way because it's still pretty early out.
Exactly.
But when the time comes, there'll be debate times.
We'll have fun. We'll have fun with that stuff.
It'll be fun.
So just as a quick reminder, we'll be here next week.
We will
and then,
be here next
and then,
week.
we'll be
one
off for the next. We'll be off for the next 2 weeks to go ahead
next
and
2
take care of
weeks till
stuff.
April 7th.
And hopefully by then we'll have some new fresh stuff that's gonna be going on for the Trailer Park Show, which is something that I've talked to Mrs. Pokey about.
Well,
And hopefully we'll have some
I have to
exciting
figure
stuff.
out how to do this because I didn't know we had the 24th was not gonna be a show. And I had 2 ASD principals coming on.
Yeah, it's okay. They don't want to talk about what's
We
going
got
on.
till
It's all
58:30.
right.
Well,
So, yeah,
so
they
it's
don't
embarrassing
want
to
to talk about what's going on with the school district. Admit it. It's okay. We're fine with
There were
that.
the principals from the boys' school that's coming up and the girls' school.
So, all right,
Now I gotta
folks.
find somebody to tell them that a reschedule is very difficult
Right.
anyway. That's my
Well,
problem.
Michael Cargill, thank you again for being here. It's
All
been a pleasure
right.
and an honor. Anything you want to say before we get out?
No,
Yeah, you got about 15 seconds.
not really.
Central Texas
All
Gun
right.
Works, awesome
Go
stuff.
ahead.
Go and support your community. If you have candidates in your community that desire to run, get behind them. Show them you support them, okay, and get take your place in the city of Austin.
10-4, thank you, sir, and we'll see you next week, folks. Bye-bye.
Woo!